Hello again, YouTube. This is Sebastian Fortune here. Chronicles of a Source Player taking the RT Limited out for an evening ride. I am planning to go to Central Texas. There is a strip of road down there. I think it's about I don't know, 30 miles long. It's called the Twisted Sisters, and I'm thinking of taking a Can-Am down there in the next few weeks and try to experience that piece of road. I hear it's a really challenging piece of road to ride any motorcycle on, and so I'm looking forward to trying that. I will obviously document it and video it. I'm also working on getting a camera that I can attach to the actual Can-Am itself, so I will have some more stability in the recording. And then also I'll add a 360-degree camera as well, so that I can, get different angles and different kinds of footage and things like that. But yeah, it's about kind of rush hour time-ish, so there's a little bit more cars out here than normal. And since I live in the city, Fort Worth area, I would have to go outside of the city limits to get some of the twisty bits and those kind of areas to really enjoy this thing. But nevertheless, every time I ride the Can-Am, I enjoy it quite a lot. It's so much fun to ride, to feel the wind, to just be outside of the so-called tin tops, the cars, those kind of things. It's nothing wrong with cars or anything like that, but it's good to get out and breathe the fresh air, and sometimes the carbon monoxide, I guess, that emancipates from this car exhaust system. But nevertheless, it's quite a lot of fun for me to get out here on the road and get a little bit of a ride in. I work from home, IT, so I'm in front of a computer often, and it's good to get outside and disconnect from all of the free radicals that comes off of the computer screen and binds to our bodies and things like that. It's really good for me. It feels it feels quite therapeutic to get on the bike and just go for a stroll. I guess go for a ride. It's a little bit bumpy road over here, and there's a lot of movement on the Can-Am, but the suspension handles it like a charm. That's one of the most surprising thing to me about this vehicle, is that the suspension, the ride, it's just amazing how this thing rides. And like I said, I mentioned before in another video, it's quite nimble, going around the corners. It feels so planted, it turns in, and the speed is there. I mean, of course, it's not motorcycle fast, but at my age and at this point in my life, I don't need to be going too fast on the public roads. If I want the adrenaline of speed, I'll take that 1LE to the track, and then I could really let her breathe a little bit through some of these twisty bits on the track. But as far as the Can-Am, it's more about adventure and freedom, the feeling of freedom and the sensation of the wind blowing through your hair and things like that. So yeah, there's a question I want to ask to those of you who have subscribed to my channel and who may listen to this video. We are living in a very different time, as evident by, the whole year so far. The pandemic with the COVID-19 has obviously changed the way normal behavior would have been. There's a social distancing. There's a myriad of other things that seem to be different. The way schools are being handled, and supermarkets and restaurants, and those kind of things. And we are indeed in an election year. And so we're being asked to vote one way or another. And I personally I've never voted. I've never registered even to vote. And the question I want to ask is, for anybody could weigh in on this, just let me know why I should vote is the question I want to ask. Why should I vote for whomever, Donald Trump or Joe Biden? Why should I vote? Why is it so important that I vote? And here's the reason why I ask. I've never voted because I never believe to this point that my vote really matters to determining who becomes president. And so I just didn't feel like wasting it. And so that's why I never voted. So if somebody can give me a reason why I should not keep my vote and just vote for someone, just give me a good reason. And perhaps if the reason is good enough, I will register and maybe even vote this year. I've often looked at politics and government in a way that is perhaps a little bit different than most people would. So I've always looked at government as a means to control the masses. I mean, it's even in the actual word itself, government. If you actually break the word up, govern means to rule over to some extent, and ment means mind, and so government means mind control. And so I am not interested in giving anyone consent to control me, and so that's what I felt my vote is. My vote is giving consent to be ruled over. And so that's one of the reasons why I have not voted to this point, because I don't want to give consent to be ruled over. I can't remember any time that my life has gotten better or has been any different, regardless of who is in the office. Trump in office has not made things any worse for me, as Obama did when he was in office for 8 years. So there's no difference for me between Trump and Obama in terms of my experience in the United States of America. So another thing, there is always the left and right, conservative, liberal, Democrat, Republican, and many people choose sides. If you are pro-life, then you're on this side. If you are pro-choice, then you're on that side. And a lot of times we get caught up in the individual perspective, and I think we miss the bigger picture. If you have left wing and right wing, it stands to reason that you have two extreme ends of something. So I think the power lies with who is controlling the left and the right wing. I often look at it like a coin, a quarter, 50-cent piece or a dollar piece, quarter. It has heads and tails. Well, you obviously can't go spend heads at the supermarket or just tails at the supermarket. You need the whole coin. And so the power does not lie with heads or tails, but the power lies with who control the coin. And so when it comes to government, I think it's not so much about Democrat or Republican. I think those are just political perspective that are given to the masses so that they're diametrically opposing each other. So they're constantly, if you choose one side, then you're constantly in conflict with the other sides, which keep both sides alive, but whoever control both sides, I think, is where the power structure is. And I think regardless of whether it's Obama or Trump or anybody else, there is a power that is above them. They're simply figureheads or faces or puppets that is carrying out the agenda of something that is perhaps on a higher level. I'm not sure. But anyway, if someone could give me a reason why I should give my vote to Biden or Trump, and it's a justifiable reason, then I will consider registering to vote this year and casting my ballot for one of these two individuals that's running for president of the United States. So I rode all the way out to Marine Creek, just a little place I call my oasis, for, at least in this area. It's a little serene out there. I spent a few minutes out there, and then of course I got back on the bike, and I'm heading back home now to unwind a little bit, perhaps have some dinner, and then think about what is the plan for the next day. I hope I didn't overstep my boundaries by introducing this political discussion into my Can-Am experience. If I have offended anyone, I apologize. It's not my intent to offend. It's just my intent to, experience my best life yet, and in so doing, there are different challenging situations that comes up and questions and so forth, and I just pose it to those of you who have chosen to follow me, and I'm asking an honest question, and I'm looking for an honest answer. I certainly do not intend to offend anyone. Whatever perspective you embrace, it is respected by me, it's embraced by me, and everyone is definitely entitled to their own perspective and is free to embrace their own perspective, regardless of what another person think about it or not. And so I certainly hope I did not offend anyone. And if this is not the forum, obviously, for these kind of conversation, then I will maybe start a new channel to talk about more political, theological, and esoteric topics, and then just leave this place for my adventures with the Can-Ams, another thing that may be more conducive to this forum. Yeah, this bike again, it's amazing. Every time I ride this thing, I have a smile on my face. If you guys have any questions about any aspect of it, please ask, and I will try my best to answer it. The Ryker, I've never tested the Ryker. The Ryker looks so quick, and it looks so radical. I don't know if I should add a Ryker to my stash, or should I just get a two-wheel motorcycle, something that I could just jump on every now and then and tear around the road. But this Limited here, this RT Limited, is awesome. I mean, it's so smooth to ride. It's so quiet. That's another thing. It's quiet. Maybe as a former Harley motorcycle rider, loud pipes save lives. You know, when I was married at the time and my ex went to purchase that Harley Davidson for me as a Father's Day present, apparently they started up in the showroom and they started up another one, and she asked, well, why is that one so much louder? And they told her, well, because they have aftermarket pipes on there, and the guy say, a loud pipe saves lives. And she said, well, go ahead and put the loudest you can on this one that I'm about to buy for my mate. And so I had like a stage 3 exhaust system on there. Every time I started that bike up, it sounded so amazing. So perhaps if there's one thing On the Can-Am, maybe a louder pipe, but then again, it's more of a touring type bike, and touring motorcycles are usually not loud because you certainly don't need that noise factor, but I like it. Anyway, well, thank you guys for joining me again on my adventure through this game. Sebastian Fortune. Like, share, and subscribe, and if you're so inclined to, donate. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful rest of your day. And again, I apologize if I offend anyone with this political diatribe. Thank you.